Please welcome to the stage, Mark Szczerba, everyone.
How you doing, everybody? Great. The other day was my birthday, and my brother calls me. Mom shit her pants. All the way through the Depends, all over her pajamas. And I start thinking, I go, aren't they called Depends? Aren't you supposed to be able to depend on them? Anyhow, she's been very, very nasty ever since my father passed away. She would always come to me and go, oh, I don't know what to do, and I just feel like, I should have went with him. And I said, well, you can always do that. I go, and I can help you with that. I said, it all depends on how you want to go. I had a lot of role models for sex education in my younger years. And one that always comes to mind is a friend of the family's. His name was John. And John pulled me aside one day and he was talking to me. And he goes, well, your brothers, they got themselves into problems. They got messed up with girls and they got them pregnant. And he turns to me and he goes, all it is a hole. You stick it in, have your fun, pull it out, what do you get? Trouble. I'm 10 years old, and I'm looking at him, and I'm kind of going, like, what are you talking about? Anyhow, my girlfriend Peggy, my first girlfriend, she invites me over one day to help her with her biology homework. I get out there to her place and I go, okay, I was in high school, I was a senior. And I'm going, all right, well, get the book, open it. Where are you having the problems? She takes the book from me, puts me on the couch, lays on top of me, and I'm going, oh, here it is. Here's the big thing. This is what I've been waiting all my life for. And 30 seconds later, I kind of was thinking, I go, well, I guess I can't get in that much trouble. My father, he was a great role model for me in a lot of different things. And he used to go up on the roof a lot. And I always wondered what he did up there until I found out that the woman next door used to sunbathe naked. And I just, okay, you're having a good time up there, or whatever. And then my brother, he would never take out the garbage. And finally, my dad had him take the garbage out. He comes back about a half hour later. And I go, where have you been? He goes, hey, the girls next door, man, they're getting ready for bed. They're taking their clothes off and you can see them right through there. And I go, wow. And I go, that's amazing. Well, the family was French, so you could kind of consider it that my dad and my brother had this kind of French connection going on. Well, that was my brother Mike, and he also introduced me to a lot of books, let's call them. And one was a paperback that was called Jailbait. And this one was probably when I was about, I probably around the same thing, 9 or 10. Very, very, explicit book for a very young mind. So what it brings to mind is I used to teach, and I used to teach high school. Let me get this up. Not that way. And I walked into class one day, and there's a young, voluptuous lady who was in my class. Her name was Crystal. She comes up to me and she goes, "Hi, Mr. Szczerba." And she's, very chesty, short shorts. She goes, "Guess what?" And I go, "What, Crystal?" And all I'm doing is going, poker face, poker face, poker face. And she goes, "I'm going to be 18 next week, and I can do all kinds of things that I can't do now." And so I leaned into her and I said, "Crystal, you know what we both can do now?" And she goes, "What?" And I go, "We can vote." Well, that was a form of jailbait, but I didn't want to become jailbait by going to jail. I mean, so I kind of left her alone, poker face, she walked away, and so much for that. Anyhow, the other guy who was very influential in my life, let's call it, with magazines was Hugh Hefner, who recently died, right? Yeah. Okay, and it was a sad thing. Okay, well, Hugh had his magazine, Playboy, which I used to sell from my 8th grade locker. And business was pretty good, and the thing was, until I got caught by the principal. And he brings me into his office, and he's talking to me, he goes, "Well, there's a couple ways we can do this." He's told me, he goes, "Well, we can go and tell your parents, or what we can do is forget all about it if you got the latest issue." And I'll leave you with this. It's one of my little ditties that I grew up loving. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get her dog Rover a bone. When she bent over, Rover took over and gave her a bone of his own. Thank you very much.